one other issue that has been generating controversy out there is, you know, a committee report, the Emoluments Committee report that has suggested that spouses of the president and the vice president will be paid salaries. Gakpo, tell us more about what the committee has been saying.
So let me quote the Professor Bedu Ntiama Committee's report directly. It says, the administration of President Kufuor introduced the extension of courtesies, including the payment of monthly allowances to the spouses of former heads of states, presidents, vice presidents. Subsequent administrations have continued the gesture and even extended them to incumbent first ladies and second ladies. The gesture remains purely humanitarian to support and in some cases rehabilitate former first ladies who were evidently struggling to subsist. However, there is no legal basis for this support. Thus, the committee recommends that the support extended to these spouses, including the privileges, be regularized. That's actually what the committee's report says. And it says that they have accordingly included the allowances of these individuals in the recommendations as far as the privileges, the benefits, and the facilities of the president and the vice president are concerned. And just to jump onto the figures in a while, when it does the pegging, then it makes the point that for the spouse of the president, the committee's report says there will be the payment of a salary equivalent to a cabinet minister MP as it currently pertains. And then for the spouse of the vice president, then there will be the payment of a salary equivalent to a cabinet minister non-MP as currently pertains. And when you look at the figure from the general breakdown, for a cabinet minister MP, the figure in terms of the payment as at 2020 and beyond is actually 39,397, which would actually go to the first lady. And for the wife of the vice president, cabinet minister non-MP, the figure in that regard is 32,832. So it's that said report from the Emolument Committee, which is actually being implemented now by the executive, as we've come to understand, even after Parliament approved it. The 7th Parliament approved it in January this year.
And this has generated a lot of controversies. Now, 2 suits have been filed against the government seeking to block the payments to the spouses, despite government's explanation that it was Parliament that approved what had been recommended by the committee. Meanwhile, former President John Mahama has written an article about the presidential spouse's salary, saying he disagrees. Joseph, what has he been saying?
He details why he thinks that it's not so much of a good idea. He describes it as unfortunate, actually, and he says it's an attempt to pay the first lady and wife of vice president salary and allowances is something that he makes the point is unfortunate. And he goes on to make the point that the spouses of the president and the vice are not captured in Article 71 as public office holders who should actually deserve this. He went on to make the point that he cannot fathom why the 7th Parliament actually approved the committee's recommendation. And according to him, this seems like an attempt to sneak the first and second ladies into the Article 71 office holder groups. And for him, that is very much problematic. And he again makes the point that he's worried over the pegging of the said salary at the level of cabinet ministers, whether a member of parliament or non-member of parliament. And just to quote this portion of it, he says in his write-up that it's a fact that over the years, successive governments have actually continued the convention of providing some allowances. The practice has actually included some of these payments, but he goes on to say, if government wishes to formalize these allowances, it must bring some form of enabling legislation to back the payments. And he notes that best practice in other democracies do not support the payment of salaries to the spouses of various office holders.
Joseph Opoku Gakpo, he's our correspondent in Parliament. Thanks so much for the update. But you heard Dr. Draman call you Honorable Member of Parliament? Well, how do you take the prophecy?
God is in control.
But thank you for bringing us that update.